Alright, in this video right here, what we're going to do is we are going to go over, first of all, I'm going to go over this spreadsheet. That's the first thing we're going to do is go over the spreadsheet, because over the last couple of weeks I've been working and trying to get this thing up to date and situated. And this spreadsheet is going to be everything. And what I've done is I've made a whole bunch of changes on this spreadsheet. And I'm going to move it over here so it's out of my head view over here. Let's go to the top of the spreadsheet. And I'm going to start at the bottom right here. It says 2023 on it. So obviously we got other years that we've been working on with the spreadsheet. So when I scroll to the top of the spreadsheet and I go to the very top line, you've got the date, which is obviously going to be the date of the PO. Here's your PO number, your vendor, name and address of the customer. Who is the equipment registered under? So our ESC may be registered under, Bob Lilly, but the actual equipment is registered under Sarah Lilly. So you have to look at the registration to see who it's actually registered under and put that name there, because when you do the 3-year labor warranty or 10 or 5-year labor warranty, it's going to have to be under Sarah Lilly, not Bob Lilly. Very important. Equipment and part number. So when you're doing a PO, and I will key up any PO here. Once it comes up, let's go to 27765. Let's try that one. Alright, so I don't know what this is. We're just going to pull it up. Now this is a compressor on here. Okay. Now it says a compressor. It was on 7.7. This is from Lennox as well. So one of the things that I want you to do is, and I'll just pull any Lennox invoice. This is probably not the one, but we will make sure that you understand what I'm saying. There's going to be a part number right here. So on that part number, instead of it saying compressor, we'll say part number 38Y72, and then the compressor number is a ZR36 blah 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 blah, and then put everything that it says in that line. So here's the part number 16Y09. In this case, the part number is a CHX35-36C-6F. That's what you would put in there. And then description is a coil 3-ton case. You put that in the description of your PO. So I don't want just generic compressor in there. Well, the reason we have generic in there as far as compressor is this one has not been received. So we don't know what the actual number is yet for that particular compressor. So when the paperwork comes in, we'll be able to change it to the correct number on there. Okay? So, I'll move this over. So make sure your part number is exactly what it says in here, and make sure this is exactly what it says actually on your invoice from the supplier. The part amount is obviously the price of that total invoice. Now, if you have a compressor on that invoice and you have a 3/8 dryer and your total price of that ticket is $1,026.12 and the dryer costs $8, well, you're not going to put the $8.10 on it. You're going to take the price of the actual compressor, and let's just say it's $1,090.04. So you would take that and you multiply it by 9.2%, and then that's the price you would actually put on there as far as the compressor by itself. When we do a vendor credit, we will do a VC 27765 for this compressor. When that ticket comes back, it may not be the exact total of the one that I have in here. No problem. We just changed this one to meet what the ticket's going to be on the actual invoice. Okay? So when you're receiving the compressor and it has 5 other items on it, does it make a difference what that total of the compressor is? In one way, no, it doesn't really make a difference because you've got 5 other items on there, and the total of the ticket is $1,123. So when you receive it into the computer, it's still expensing $1,123. In another way, it does make sense to take not the compressor and put it at $10, but literally to put it at whatever the price comes to, and have all the other subsidiary, ductwork, collars, whatever may be the case that comes with it, have those last 5 items in one item under here, which would be miscellaneous change out or miscellaneous service part. In other words, the main part on here, you'd want the price to be correct. The rest of the 5 items you picked up would not have a line item for miscellaneous part on each one of them. It would have one miscellaneous parts right here with the total of those 5 items here with tax and everything, so that the 2 totals equal the total of your invoice at the bottom. And in your description, you would just describe what are the other 5 parts. That's all. Okay. So we don't have to line item every single part that you purchased. If we had to do that, you'd be here forever. And we're already here long enough. All right, so we're going to go ahead and save that, get it out the way, and go back to the spreadsheet. So equipment, you put what is on there, what I just explained. Part amount, total, the total, you're going to go ahead and put the total, not of the invoice, but of that part. The tech, who actually ordered the part. PO invoice, well, when you get the actual invoice from Coburn's, Lennox, whoever, that invoice number is what you put for PO invoice. Part return to office. So this is a compressor we are purchasing in order to put a compressor in. It's going to be a warranty compressor, so we have to bring back that compressor. So it says in here, part returned to the office. Well, if you haven't got the part returned back to the office yet, then you're putting no in there at this point in time. When they do that job, now it's up to you to make sure you get the part back in the office, because when the part comes back in the office, one of these green forms has got to be filled out. Now we're changing these forms. If you have a 3, 5, or 10-year parts and labor warranty, we're changing them to pink. And then the green form is going to be for a parts only. Okay? So we're going to try to kind of match it into the spreadsheet here, that while this is peach right here, and then this is gray, we're gonna try to make that when you have parts only, it's green, so we know that. If you have a parts and labor, so your part has to be returned, and you have a labor warranty on that part as well, we're gonna try to make it a different color, the pink, in order to, when you're going through these files and everything, if you got some pink ones in there, you know that, hey, that's a 3-year parts and labor warranty. I have to do that as well. If it's a green one, you're going to do just the parts warranty. Now, you're not going to assume just because somebody put green or pink on it that you don't have to go look to see if it has a 3-year labor warranty on it, because you're the last person on the totem pole, and you have got to make the final determination of, yes, this has the 3-year parts labor warranty, yes, it has a 10-year labor warranty, or no, it is out of warranty and it is only a parts warranty. You make that determination by pulling up the qualify, looking at the equipment. Once you look at the equipment, then you can determine when was it installed, what is the registration of it, all the stuff that we've already went through and learned on how to do that. Then, if somebody filled out a green ticket and it's actually a 3-year labor warranty on it, and you have to go ahead and fill out the labor warranty part of it as well, then grab a pink form, write all that information on the pink form, and then you save the pink form so that you know your filing stays the same. Taylor and Thomas, Eric speaking. How may I help you? Do you live at 2412 Metal Art? Yeah, we still need rent. I'm here at the office. I'll be here till probably 5 o'clock. What time are you coming? Well, I need to know what time you're coming because I can't revolve my day around you. All right. Rental properties. All right. Continue on this spreadsheet here as we go across. Again, we talked about part numbers. The total of the amount of that part is not the total of the ticket, but the total of the part plus tax. The tech who brought it in, or you're waiting for them to bring it in, and when we get to parts returned to the office, once it's returned to the office, you put the date it's returned to the office. When you do the PO, when you get that PO, and the invoice number of the PO goes under PO invoices, okay? So if ever you got to look that PO number back up again, that's the invoice for it. If it's returned to the office, put the date on it. Fill out warranty paperwork. This is all on you right now. So who filled out the paperwork? What day did you fill it out? Yes, I filled out the paperwork. This one I just put my initials on it. This one I put the date that I actually filled it out. I want you to go ahead and just put the date that you actually filled it out, because it should be the person doing this job is going to put the date on there, okay? Part to return to supply house. Where is it? Part returned to supply house. Did it get returned yet? In this case, it's in the shop ready for return. It's a TXV, okay? Now, once it gets returned, then we kind of go from there. Now, was a vendor credit made over here? If a vendor credit was made, well, in order to return it, you have to do a vendor credit, don't you? If the part was purchased by itself with nothing on it, then the total amount of this particular part is $163.05. So therefore, the vendor credit amount is going to be $163.05 as well over here. Until you get the actual invoice that you got paid the vendor credit, you can't fill this part out, which is the vendor credit invoice from, say, Coburn's, Lennox, or whoever. When you get the vendor credit in your hand, then you put that invoice number on here and you put the total of whatever the credit is here. So why do I have that in red? Because I haven't received the credit. So red is telling me, hey, you still got work to do. You're still waiting on this vendor credit. So if you did the paperwork and you filled it out and the part got brought back, you should get a credit memo on it. Okay? So how long do you let this sit and wait? Well, first of all, you got to see, did Doug bring the part back? Did you wrap the paperwork around it? So when the guys bring in a job, let's just say, or a part, and we'll make this up here. Let's just say this is the part they're bringing back. Okay? They're going to have one of these sheets filled out with this, and it's going to be taped around it. All information on it is going to be filled out. If all information is not filled out, guess whose job it is to fill out all the paperwork? Yours. So the technician brings it back with, should be most or if not all the information on it. He may not have a vendor credit yet on it, so you have to put the vendor credit on it. So what I do is, when I get the part back, and they put it usually right here by your desk, and now I've got to go make sure it's entered into the computer here, and I come up to this one, and let's just say this is a TXV, which it's not. And I would go in here and I'd say, okay, let me go issue a vendor credit. What's the vendor credit I'm going to issue? Well, I have to go actually to the original PO, which is 27618. My vendor credit is going to be VC 27618. So when you go into the PO list, and it pops this up, then you hit add, then you hit add vendor credit. Then when you add that vendor credit, you're going to change whatever numbers on here, you would change it to VC 27618 right here. Then you go ahead and do your vendor credit, fill everything out here, and then you save it. Well, you've created a vendor credit with the total of the ticket and everything. You're going to use the same part number that's on here. So you come and you copy this and you paste it onto whatever the description is. In the item, you're going to put warranty, in this case, warranty service part. If it's a Lennox part, Lennox equipment, you're going to put warranty Lennox, warranty Rude. You'll use those as opposed to using warranty equipment. You use warranty equipment when it's a piece of warranty of equipment from somebody else. Jackson Supply, Johnstone Supply, Kaiser, AC Supply. That's when you use the warranty equipment when you're returning a piece of equipment for them. A piece of equipment is an evaporator coil, a condenser, a furnace. Now 99.9% of the time, the only equipment you are returning is a coil. Everything else is considered a part. If you purchase a condenser, you're not returning the entire condenser unless you never used it. If you are purchasing a furnace, you're not returning the entire furnace unless you didn't use it. Can you purchase an evaporator coil and return the evaporator coil used or not used? Yes, you can, because coils go out. So most of our most of our warranty equipment would be considered an evaporator coil in there. When you use warranty service parts, the warranty service parts are going to be a TXV, could be a coil, not a coil, that would be warranty equipment. A TXV, a compressor, an expansion valve, a low pressure switch, a blower motor, a contactor, just those things. Okay, so I'm going to exit out of this one. Whenever you get this box up, you always have got to read exactly what it says, because a lot of times if you read it, it's telling you, do you want to save what you're doing or do you want to get rid of it? If you don't read it, you may save or discard that transaction, whatever you're doing. Here I'm getting out of it and it says, do you wish to save your transaction? No, I'm trying to get out of it. If you hit yes, you're going to save something blank here. Here I'm going to say, do you wish to save your transaction? The answer is no. I'm trying to get out of it. There you go. You have to read that box. If you don't read that box, you're going to screw it up 80% of the time, 90% of the time. Okay? All right. Now, you have to remember, anything that is in the peach is going to be a parts and labor warranty. Why is this pink up here? Because this says parts and labor warranty. So everything underneath the parts and labor warranty that is in peach is going to have a 3-year parts and labor warranty, a 5 or a 10-year parts and labor warranty. Anything underneath in gray is going to have a parts only warranty, no labor. You had to verify all that. You cannot take somebody's word for it. So underneath here it says parts only warranty. Now I've got Coburn's right here. I've got Lennox right here, all the way down, and then others invoices. Same thing with the parts and labor. I got Coburn's here. I got Lennox's here. And then I got anybody else's underneath here. Well, that's our main dealers. And the reason I did it like this is so that when you are looking to fill things out in here, then everything underneath Coburn's, you should have everything filled out as you go by. And if you see a blank in here, you're going to ask yourself, why do I have a blank there? Okay, that needs to be filled out. So here we got a warranty coil for Bayou des Familles, and there is no price on it. So if I key up 27729, double click it. So this coil we purchased on 7/4, warranty existing. There is no model number on here or no serial number on here. Now, what this may tell me is two things. One, this guy called and canceled, or we just haven't went and picked up this coil yet. Okay. It could have been back ordered. This was on 7/4. Today is 7/8 is today. So it's only 4 days. So we may not have got this coil in yet. When we get that ticket in, then you're going to fill the serial number out on here. And then when we have the invoice, we will then receive that invoice, and then everything will be in here. And when you get the invoice, well, then you'll be able to actually come in here and put the total of it, and then you'll be able to put the invoice number right here. PO invoice number right there. Okay. Then when we do the job, then you'll be able to go in here and put part returned to office. No, it hasn't come back yet. So as soon as we do the job, it comes back to the office. They fill out that green sheet. They bring you the green sheet. The coil's out in the warehouse. You got to go find the coil. It's got the model and serial number on it. You got to go find the coil. What I do is I'll make a copy of this. Okay? And I'll make a copy of it just in a white piece of paper. And you have to then, if it's Coburn's, you have to go in here to Coburn's on the drawer right here on my right hand side, and you have to go into this form, and you have to fill out Coburn's invoice here. Okay, this is their warranty parts form. You fill this out. You have this as well. You put those two together. You make a copy of this one. Just make a copy of everything you filled out, and then hold this copy, put it in your file here. Okay, so you're waiting for this to be coming back. The warehouse guy takes that part. You tape this to the coil. All your information's filled out. Your vendor credit's filled out. Any information on here is filled out. Any information on here is filled out. Outdoor unit, indoor unit. So if it's just returning a coil, you don't need the outdoor unit. If it's returning an evaporator coil that is in an air handler, then you do need the model and serial number of the air handler. If it's a gas furnace coil condenser and you're replacing the coil, then you only need the coil. The coil, the evaporator coil, comes inside the air handler. That's why you would need the model and serial number of the air handler if you are replacing the evaporator coil. Sometimes the evaporator coil does not have a model and serial number because it uses the model and serial number off of the air handler down here. That's why you always need that if it's an air handler. If you don't know what an air handler is, Google does. Failed part number. Whatever the part number is that's on their actual invoice is that failed part number. I will do a video as well of how do you find part numbers. I can show that as well too. But when you get the invoice from Coburn's, it's going to have the part number on it. You actually put the part number that they have on there, and then you put replacement part number. There you go. You're going to put that on there. Failed serial number. Well, if you don't have an evaporator coil serial number, which you 90% of the time do, then you put the serial number of the air handler if it's an air handler. If this unit in that customer's house has a furnace, a coil, and a condenser, then the evaporator coil will have a model and a serial number. If this house has an air handler and a condenser outside, the coil is inside the air handler. Sometimes the evaporator coil does not have a model and serial. It has a part number. Then you use the model and serial number of the air handler. But the part you're getting, you use the model and serial number of the air handler here. The part number you get would be the part for the coil. You put that here, and it may or may not have a serial number on it. And you just go look at the ticket and see if it does. The date the unit was installed. You look that up, obviously, and qualify. Date it was failed. Now, very important that you put on here correct numbers, okay? You have to look to see when the system was registered, because if your information says it was registered, July 4th of 2020, and the registration says that it was registered on November 4th, 2020, where you're losing a few months in there of your warranty. And the only reason it would be done like that is if somebody made a mistake. So it shouldn't be done like that, obviously. So you have to go into the registration to look to see when the system was actually registered, and it gives you an install date, and then that's the install date that you put on here. Date failed. Well, you have to look to see when is the date failed, because if you're doing the paperwork today on 7/8 of 2023 and you put date failed, 7/8/2023, and the part was installed on 7/4, let's just say, of 2013, okay? And it did not get registered until November of 2013, and it has a 10-year parts warranty on it. But yet we installed it on 7/4. Today's 7/8. You put 7/8 on here, it ain't no good anymore. Okay? So your date of the part failed has got to be before the expiration date of the warranty. So you have got to make sure you look that up. I just did one just yesterday that by the time we did the paperwork on this, okay, it was a month outside of the actual warranty, okay? Well, if I would have just processed it through with today's date on it, then they would have kicked all that back. And once you put it down one time, you can't go back and change the date and say, oh, no, we did it 2 weeks ago or a month ago. You can't go do that. They will not take it back. You just lost out. In that case, I would have lost out on $1,000. So you have got to be 100% sure of your dates of when that warranty expires. When does the 3-year warranty or 5 or 10-year warranty expire? What is the date that you picked up the parts? What is the dates that we're returning the parts? Okay? In this particular case I literally had to go and take the invoice from, so here's how it worked. The diagnosis of the part being bad, I'm going to say was, let's just use January 1st for argument's sake. We're just going to use these dates so I can explain it. So let's just say it was diagnosed on January 1st that the part was bad, whatever that part is, okay? And let's just say, for argument's sake, that the labor warranty and parts warranty expires on January 15th, 2 weeks later. So it failed within the time frame of it being covered. But you call the supply house and they don't have that part available at this point in time. So it takes 3 weeks for the part to come in. Now you're outside of the warranty date. So you are literally purchasing the part when? 1 week outside of the expiration date. So it was diagnosed inside the warranty period, but the part didn't come till outside the warranty period. Is it still under warranty? Yes, it should be. Do you want to take the chance of them getting the paperwork and go, nope, I see you purchased it outside the warranty date, I'm not going to warranty it, boom, done. You don't take that chance. You take the invoice in and you go to PDF Element and you change the date that you actually got the part to a day or two after when you diagnosed it, and then all your paperwork has to be within that date time frame of the warranty expiration. So we literally could not physically do the job till 1 week after the warranty expired, but we had the part ordered and we diagnosed it within the warranty, so it falls within the warranty. But to try to keep it from getting kicked back, we may go to PDF Element and change the date of when we received the part, because they're going to want that part and they're going to want the invoice from Coburn's, and they're going to look for that date to see when we actually purchased the part to make sure that it's within that warranty time frame. So you can't purchase a part on 7/21 and install it on 7/10. You can't do that, obviously, okay? So then they would kick that back. They are looking for, a warranty company is looking for anything they possibly can to kick that claim back. And don't give them something to kick it back. You have got to think about all these different things before you turn that stuff in. Now, let's go back to this spreadsheet here and continue with the spreadsheet a little bit further. Okay, so we went ahead, parts returned to the office. We got a date on that. Filled out the warranty paperwork, which is my warranty paperwork here, in order to turn it back into the supply house. Now, if it's Rude, you're turning the paperwork back in or the part back into Coburn's. If it's Lennox, we take the part and we hold it here. So down here, so right here I got Lennox claim number, returned file right here. So with Lennox, I have Lennox claim numbers right here because you do warranty for Lennox completely different than what you do it with Coburn's, with Rude. With Coburn's and Rude, we take the green sheet, we wrap it around that part, we physically bring that part back over to them with the other Coburn's return form, and then they give us a vendor credit. Well, we issue a vendor credit, they issue a ticket using our vendor credit number, and then we get our credit. With Lennox, it's not like that. You have to go to Lennox Pros, and you go to warranty, and you go to submit a claim, and then you have to fill out all the paperwork on that online, and then you submit that, and when you submit that, you are using the vendor credit number because it's going to say dealer invoice number, which means your PO. You submit that in there to that part, and you now have got to hold that part. So we would take that TXV, you know, or thermostat in this case, and we wrap that form around it here, we tape it to it with all the information on it, and then when we send it through to Lennox on the computer, on Lennox Pros, and we process it, so we submitted the claim. Once you submit that claim, it's going to kick back this, that you submitted the claim. There's your claim number. So then you're going to come down here and you're going to put what your claim number is. Okay? So this number here is that number there. Right there. Okay? VC, in this case, 7534. So you come right here and you put the VC 57, shit. VC 27534, you would put that down here. Now you're waiting for them to actually give you the money back. Okay? They haven't given you the money back. You just submitted the claim is all you did. When they give you the money back on the statement, then you take the Lennox form, the Lennox invoice, and take the invoice number, and you put the invoice number here. Okay? So in this case, Lennox actually credited me $682 on this particular form. Okay? My original invoice for that particular customer was $1,377. Okay? They credited me, well, the $1,377, I know that there's a mistake on here because it's really and truly, it's $682.50, $347, $222.97. The total of all those three equaled $1,377.01 because I had one invoice with a total of $1,377.01. When they credited me back, they credit me back part for part for part, because you can't do a credit with Lennox and do all three credits at one time for them to credit you back $1,377. You have to do one part at a time, and then they will send you an individual credit for each one of them. Okay? So on here, this should say $682.50 instead of $1,377.01, and I am waiting for all of my parts back on here, and then I would have a vendor credit number on each one of those. So here they gave a vendor credit, but they just issued their own vendor credit, and they just used 164,883. So because it was a separate vendor credit number, I just took their vendor credit, I put it on here, I came to here, and I made a vendor credit. I went to PO list, add vendor credit, and then I changed whatever PO number in, and I changed it to 164,883 because that's what they put on theirs. Lennox makes a ton of mistakes. They screw our paperwork up so much, so you have got to learn how to improvise. So if they use the same PO number and don't put a VC on it, yours has got to have a VC, in this case 27729. what they did here was they gave me a vendor credit, but they just used a random number. I don't know where that number came from. I think it was the invoice number, if I'm not mistaken. So a technician may have given them an invoice number at some point in time, or a dispatch number, or whatever it was. I don't know. I think it's a dispatch number. So I don't know how they got the 164,883, but they just went ahead and used that as a PO. So no big deal. You get it back. You go to a vendor credit, you make one, and you use the number they gave. You put it in here, and then now our paperwork matches their paperwork, so that when we save and bill that vendor credit, it comes across on QuickBooks with an invoice number as 164,883 of a total of $347.26. And then Lennox's statement and invoices has invoice number 164,883 347.26 with a credit. Then you can match it up individually in QuickBooks. So everything that you're doing here has another effect in our accounting in QuickBooks. Okay. Next line. Credit amount, just went over that. Now, then it says hold until Lennox part. Okay, hold Lennox, so Lennox only. That's why I have it blacked out with Rude. And when I get down to the Lennox, I don't have it blacked out, because I am asking you, what is the date we should hold this till? Now remember, we're in the peach right here. Peach means I have a 3-year labor warranty on it. Okay, so once I get my vendor credit back over here, and I put my vendor credit in here and it's Lennox, I'm done with this one. There is no labor warranty anymore, right? So let's just say that this top one right here is a Lennox part. As soon as I get my vendor credit and Lennox credits me, I go straight here and I put the invoice number of Lennox here. And then once I put that in there and this credit matches my purchase amount right here, I end up now putting a black line, shading of it like here, and then I change the colors to white on the letters, and then I move it up here, because I don't have to go back to these anymore. These are dead. Literally everything that's in black up here, I don't have to go back to at all. Okay, so I put them up top. For whatever reason I have to go back, I know where they are. These are my working items right up in here. Okay, so as soon as I get my vendor credit, boom, make it black, turn it to white letters, cut it, bring it up top, insert copied cell up there, done. All right. So when we go to our next line item on here, our next line item says uploaded all the documents and saved. Now, what are we uploading all the documents? What kind of documents are we doing? Why is that here? Because it's here for the 3-year parts and labor warranty. It's not there for the warranties down here for the parts only. Because after this line, everything is for a 3-year parts and labor warranty, not for a parts warranty. Okay, so upload all documents. What are you uploading? Okay, this is literally just for Lennox as well too. So what I do is move that to the side, and right here, right there, I have one called Save Pics to Email. Saved pictures to email. To email where? I am emailing them to Comfort Shield. I am emailing them to Protection Plus. I'm emailing them to JB Warranties. So I open up this, and then inside of here, I've got another video on this that I spent probably 2 hours making all this right here for the customers that we have. Just to recap it with my spreadsheet, so you see how my spreadsheet interacts with everything that I'm doing here. So again, everything in the peach up here, right? Oh, wrong way. Everything in the peach right here. My next thing on here, so literally everything in line tells you what to do next. So there should be no question of what do I do next once I get this in. If you verified there was a 3-year labor warranty and you get the credit amount in, well, your next thing that you need to do because you can't do the 3-year labor warranty until you get whatever your total is. Well, what is your total? Your total is going to be whatever you purchase. So you can do it. Okay, you don't have to wait till your vendor credit comes in. You can do it based on what your PO was in purchasing that part. If we purchase the part, we're normally going to go ahead and do it, you know, that day or a day or two later. We're not holding it for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks before we go do it. So as soon as you're purchasing the part, within a few days, you should be getting the vendor credit anyway. Which then when you get the part back in and we can return it to Coburn's and all that kind of stuff, and you can finish filling this out, then you know where you are. Upload all the documents. Okay, so what do? Let's go back to this one customer that I have highlighted here. And this is 137 Audubon. Okay, it's Coburn's. So if I go to Lenox here, because we were just talking about Lenox, and I go to 109 Pie Street right here, my original PO 27607. Okay, it's Comfort Shield. All right, upload all of the documents. All right, so this is, again, the address was 109 Pie Street in here. So we come over here and then let's fill this out. Did I upload all of the documents for 109 Pie Street? Well, I got to look over here and I got to look for 109 Pie Street and see if I actually did it. And if the answer is no, then what am I actually uploading? From here, I'm going to show you what I'm uploading based on another one here that we are probably waiting for. Let's see if there's another one right here real quick. Those are Lennox's 244.5, 3849. Okay, let's do the bottom one here, 3849. For 45th Street, 41st Street is the address of the customer. So I go in here, 3849. So actually I have two of them here, so I probably did it twice. Let's double click into the first one, and I've got some invoices on it. Let's get out now. Let's go into the other one. Let's just see what that one is. Okay, there's only two of them on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and copy these. Actually, I'm going to cut them. Alright, so we're going to cut those. Go back one. And I'm going to open this one because it's got everything in it. And I'm going to paste them in here. And then I'm going to go back one time. And then this is the one that didn't have anything in it now, right? Go back. And I'm going to right click and I'm going to delete it. Yes. So now everything is in my other one. Alright. So, blower motor invoice from Coburn's. Invoice from Lenox. So if you look here, it says blower motor invoice for Coburn's. Well, this is a Lenox part. So let's just go see if maybe we just put Coburn's instead of Lenox on it. So this is actually an invoice from Coburn's. So this may have been put in there mistakenly, 27612. So 27612 does not have to do with that particular one. So it probably just got put in there mistakenly. That's all. So invoice from Lenox. So that's why I try to put in here invoice from Lenox, invoice from Coburn's, and I'm looking at dealing with Lenox down here. So I'm looking for Lenox invoices. Lenox invoice. Here's my Lenox invoice right here. So I'm going to have to upload this into Comfort Shield or Protection Plus or JV Warranties. Okay. Invoice PO 27488. There's my Lenox invoice. Registration. My registration. I am uploading into my documents here my registration for that particular unit. So because I'm going to do a parts and labor warranty, I want to show Comfort Shield that this part was registered with Lenox. It has a parts warranty on it. And I also want to show that it is registered through Comfort Shield as well. So I want to upload registration of the equipment, and I want to upload the certificate for Comfort Shield so that when they start looking at their documents, we got everything in line here, okay? Then I'm going to go in here and I'm going to upload the invoice for the actual job that was done. So I'll double click on here. So this is the actual job, replace furnace control board right here, because they're going to ask you for the invoice of when it was installed. They're going to ask you when it was diagnosed. Here you go. Found system low on refrigerant due to leaking evaporator coil, replacement evaporator coil. So this is just the diagnosis of it. They're going to ask you for that. Okay. And then you got this invoice here. Replace defective warranty S30 thermostat. Okay. Any invoices that you have from us that shows that we diagnosed it and then replaced that part have got to be in here. I'm looking at a couple of these, and these are wrong addresses on here, so we put them in the wrong file some kind of way, shape, or form, so I have to straighten that out. So make sure that when you go into the documents here, that let's just go into Crestwood for a second, and then here I've got an invoice. Double click into it. This is a Lennox invoice for $61.38. It's a sensor. Your part number 88K3801. You would take that part number, and that's where you put the part number in here, where it says equipment part number and description. You put that in here. Okay. Here you double click into it. That's the actual invoice that we replaced it. Look, they wrote the model and serial number down in here. So in my next video is when I'm actually going to go into Comfort Shield and show you how to process the invoice through Comfort Shield to actually get your money in there and how to make claims on it. Here I'm just trying to set you up before we actually go into Comfort Shield and show you how this spreadsheet is going to work and where are you getting all the stuff from. So before you're ready to do that 3-year parts and labor warranty, here's what you need to do. You need to take into ESC, or go into ESC, and let's just pick one of these. 617 Dandelion. Okay, you got 2 things in here. So I'm going to go into here and qualify. And I go 617 Dandelion. Alright. Ronnie San Martino. So, found and replaced bad 60 amp air handler breaker. So there's one thing. That's an invoice that we did. On arrival was cooling properly. Said the system turned off completely. Including thermostat, then began running about 15 minutes later. Drain line was not backed up at all. So if I'm to go in here and I want to look to see, is this under warranty? Well, that was a breaker on the air handler. Okay. Well, I got to look to see when the air handler was installed, which is here, an RH2T3617 installed January 11th of 2023. So the parts have got a 10-year warranty on parts, which is right here, and it's got a 3-year warranty on labor. That's why we put this in the peach here. Okay. This particular one is Coburn, so this is Ronnie San Martino right here. We continue this over here. We did the part, returned the part. In shop, ready for return. We actually returned it as well. Here's the other thing here. When this gets returned, when it gets returned, I'll show you one here. See if I find one that's got. Okay. So when it gets returned to the supply house, then we're going to have initials down here of who actually received it. That's very, very important. Okay. So sometimes when it gets returned, I will look and I might even put on here part returned to supply house, and then I will put on here the initials of who actually returned it. And like my buddy John over at Coburn's, he signs the bottom of it here, okay, J. Leto, and then I would put on here J. Leto, and then I know, hey, when I look at here, my spreadsheet, I go, yeah, we returned the part to John. And I got proof that we returned this part. Watch how this works. I return this part with this sheet on it, with this sheet on it. They take this sheet for their warranty. They take my part. If I don't have an initial on here that says that I brought that part back, they take the part, they throw it to the side, somebody comes by, picks it up, throws it away. I never get a credit on it. How are you expecting a credit? When are you expecting a credit? What is your proof that you actually brought that part back? Unless you get that green sheet back that has initials on it that you brought it back, you got no way of verifying that you actually brought the part back. If it's a coil you brought back and that coil costs $800-900, we had a coil in here that's $1,600, and you have no proof you brought that coil back. They take the coils and they may give them to their employees, or they may cut the coils up and they use them for scrap now. They may have got credit on the coil, but now they don't have the coil anymore. They brought it to the scrapyard, and there's no way to know that we actually brought the coil back. So now we have a fight on our hands, and I'm trying to get $1,600 and they $1,600 back. Well, they don't write down what they cut up and bring to the scrapyard. They don't write the model and serial numbers down on it. And remember, some of the coils don't even have model and serial numbers on it. So how do they know who it came from? Who brought it to them? They have no clue. You need that sheet with a initial on it to see who actually brought it back. Very, 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 very important. Okay. Okay. So again, you are going to upload all docs and save them. You're going to upload them where? You're going to upload them right here into, get out of it, into Save Pics to Email. You right click in here, you create a new folder, and you make that folder name the address and then customer's name. Then you do what? You come into Qualify, you verify what is registered, what's not registered, and then you go to Attach Documents, and you scroll down and you look at the attached documents to see when we installed the system, first of all. So go to your equipment and you go install date January 11th, 2023. Well, if you go to Attached Documents and you go to January of 2023, which is all these right here, then you're going to have model numbers, serial numbers, and you should have in here an install packet. The install packet is the invoice, the check, the proposal, the model and serial numbers with stickers on them, which is very important in case there's a number off somewhere. That's warranty paperwork. This is showing that we offered them a 10-year parts warranty, labor warranty. This is the maintenance agreement. So I don't see a registration in here on this particular unit here, okay? So this is back from January. So I want to go down and I want to look to see, well, hell, I mean, this just raised concern to me just now. So I go look to this system, because if we installed this system and we didn't register it, well, I'm screwing myself over now. So all of these uploads right here from January 11th should be, I should have some registration in here of that system. And I don't see anything registered in here. So here's what I want to do. I want to go back into my equipment. I want to go and double click into one of my pieces of equipment. I want to copy my serial number. I want to minimize that. I want to go into Google. I want to go into Rude Registration. And I want to go Verify and Contractor. It's an air conditioned system. Name all is in there. Hit login. I want to enter my serial number. Paste it. Homeowner's last name was San Martino. If you get this wrong, it will not give it to you. So let's go look at it real quick. Alright. right here, Ronnie San Martino. Now here it says San Martin, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into ESC and go to 617 right here. It's San Martin, SANMARTIN. So you got to make sure you put that correct in here, or it's going to be wrong, and they're not going to give it to you. They're not going to do it. San Martin, and then what is the zip code? 70094. Submit it. Alright, unit parts warranty, extended warranty, January 11, 2028. So somebody actually registered this, but they did not copy the registration. View your warranty registration. Yes, I want to view it. Okay? So here's my registration on here. So I want to go ahead and I want to download it. Okay? And I want to put in here, I want this to be registration. Okay. And then I want it to be 617 Dandelion. And I will put rude registration so that I know it's not registration of the 3-year labor warranty. So I put rude registration 617 Dandelion. Where am I going to save it at? Well, I'm going to go ahead and just save it into here. And I'm going to go to 617 Dandelion if I made one on it, which I think I did. There it is. So I'll go ahead and save it in that folder, and then I can get out of here, and then I can go back into here, and then I need to go into my edit customer screen. I need to go into documents, and then I need to put add new, add file, and then I need to go into, we're already in save pics. I need to find 617 Dandelion, which is here, and then I need to rude registration, what I just did, and I need to okay it, and now I need to put that in my files. Okay, so now all that stuff is updated in my files. So whoever did this before didn't put all the shit in the attached documents like they were supposed to. Alright, so I found that. I put it in there. The next thing I have to do is I have to go verify, because if I go to my attached documents as well, back from January, did we purchase a 3-year labor warranty on this particular system? So if I go to, I'll show you a couple different ways to look at this. If I go to my proposal, okay, my original proposal that was actually given to the customer, 3-year labor warranty says here, but that don't mean they have 3-year labor warranty until it's put right here, warranty bronze plan. When you see warranty bronze plan on the proposal, then they purchased a 3-year labor warranty. Okay? Now that I know that they actually purchased it, then I need to go to the history, and I need to go to January 11th here on my actual invoice. And it should have right here, which it does, is a line item that says bronze 3-year labor warranty on it. So I know they put it on the invoice as well too. Now I need to say, okay, well, where is my registration? Who actually went to Comfort Shield and registered the warranty through Comfort Shield? Okay, so now I need to go into Comfort Shield, which is going to be under Lennox Pros, and then you need to sign in. Once you're signed in, then you need to go to warranty. Now remember, this is a Rude product, but my warranty is through Comfort Shield, which we go through Comfort Shield through Lennox. Okay? Then you come down here where it says not quick coverage lookup, because this is for Lennox. Okay? I want to come into here where it says Comfort Shield labor warranty, and I want to click it. Now remember, I'm looking for Ronnie San Martin at 617 Dandelion, who actually purchased a Rude system, and I am trying to find, did we register the 3-year labor warranty with Comfort Shield? Because he purchased it, it's on our invoice. Did we do our job and literally go to Comfort Shield and purchase the actual contract? Because when you go to attach documents, it's not in there. So I don't know at this point in time if we actually purchased it. So if we did not purchase it, now I'm on the hook as a company to honor the 3-year parts and labor warranty, or 3-year labor warranty for that particular customer. So I know they purchased it. I have not went and seen what is the actual registration number. So when I go to Ronnie San Martin over here, and I'm all the way over here now. So I actually have a number here, a Comfort Shield Pro Plus right here with a number. This is the actual number. So I'm going to show you another way before I get into this one particular deal. I want to look at, go back into ESC. I'm in the customer's file, 617 Dandelion. Go to edit customer, and then look right here in the notes up at the very top, and here you go. Remy Halo has got a certificate number right there, okay? Equipment certificate right here. Comfort Shield, here's your phone number for Comfort Shield. There is the actual contract number right here, 30186, whatever it is, and I copied that number and I put that number here. But I was just looking for this in my attached documents, and I don't have an attached document. So this tells me somebody did it because they had to get this number. But when you go to attach documents, that last part of it, going back to January 11th, right here, there are no pictures, there are no uploads of the 3-year labor warranty purchased through Comfort Shield. Nobody did that, okay? So now here I am, and I need to manage claims, okay? So if I hit manage claims over here, so I need to look for this particular customer. I don't know if I've done this yet. So claims, claim home, submit a claim, review claims. So if you're going to review a claim, let's go hit review a claim. So we need to search for this particular customer, and we need to find the contract is what we're literally trying to do. So I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to go to their contract number, and I'm going to copy their contract number right here. And I'm going to go ahead and paste it right here. And then I'm going to just hit search. So look, this customer right here actually has a 3-year labor warranty. So now I can I right click this and upload it? Can I save it? Let's see. Save as Comfort Shield. It's got it on there. Comfort Shield, and I'm going to put registration. And then 617 Dandelion. Alright, where am I going to save it to? Same place I was saving all the other stuff up for that customer, right? And that's where it's at. Okay. So now, if I go into 617 Dandelion, I got Rude registration. And I don't see this one, so let's go into it. So this is my registration right here. I don't see that I actually saved it. Comfort Shield, there it is, Comfort Shield registration. So let's open it up, and here it is on the side. So this is the actual registration right there, okay? So it did fall through there and actually save it. Now it don't look like this one here. If I want to look like this one here, I can right click it and I can print it. Alright, now why do I want to have the registration in here as well too? Because I'm going to have to upload that into Comfort Shield when I'm doing that labor warranty. Okay, so if I go back into ESC right now and I go to my attached documents, I want to hit add new, add file. And what am I going to add file into? I'm going to go to Comfort Shield registration, and I'm going to add that file in there. Now, anytime I need to find that registration file, it's in there, okay? And we're good to go. So that should have been uploaded back here. That is all it boils down to. I wish I could change the date on here, and I can rename it, but I can't change the date that I actually put it in. I'd like to actually change the date to where I could put the date in here as the same date so it all falls in there. But as long as I got Rude registration 617 Dandelion, and then I got the other one, which is the Comfort Shield registration, I'd have to get out of it and get back into it. So go back into attached documents. And we are at 617. And I got breaker here, attached documents. I've got to go to qualify. Documents. There's my Comfort Shield. So I already had qualify open, and I uploaded these two here, the Rude registration and Comfort Shield registration. And if you go to qualify, you're not seeing them in there because I already had it open. I would actually have to refresh it right here. And then if I refresh it, then it pops up. Until you refresh it, it's not going to pop up in there. All these little bitty tricks you got to learn and understand. How do you see it all and what do you do with it, you know? Okay, so again, we're sitting here playing with a spreadsheet trying to figure out how do we get everything in our spreadsheets, and we're finding stuff, and I'm finding stuff that's supposed to be in our attached documents, but it's not. But the paperwork was done. It is correct. So in this particular case, do I have all of my documents uploaded? I'm going to put in here yes, because I do. Do I have all of them? Well, I'm going to go back to minimize this again. I'm going to say no, I don't have all my documents in here that Comfort Shield is going to ask me for. This is replacing the blower motor, replacing the breaker, the registration, the Comfort Shield registration. So, you know, I got a bunch of stuff in here. Let's double click into this particular one here. I don't know what all that damn thing is. Why it's a file in there. I don't know. Comfort Shield registration here. This, I think this has to do with this. This is the way it pulled over some kind of way, shape, or form. One of the things that Comfort Shield is going to ask me is, when was the last time you did a PMA? Okay, so again, I'm going to go back into qualify. I'm going to go back into 617 Dandelion, Ronnie San Martin. I'm going to go into his history, and I'm looking for one that says PMA on here. Okay, now remember, this system was installed in January. So if it's installed in January, do I have a PMA on it? No, it's brand new. So one of the things that Comfort Shield is going to ask me for is a preventative maintenance agreement. Do they have a preventative maintenance with you? The answer is yes, they do have a preventative maintenance with us. And if you go into agreement detail and you go here, double click that, this is our actual service agreement for that customer. Okay. I don't know if I right click this, does it do anything? It does not. So can I prove to this to Comfort Shield that this customer has a PMA? We haven't done a PMA because it's brand new, unit new. So I would actually have to put in the notes at the bottom of Comfort Shield when I'm doing it, system installed in January, you know, no preventative maintenance needed until next year. And that way they're seeing that it's brand new. But you got to explain everything to them. If you don't explain everything to them, you're giving them a reason to deny it. I'm denying it because the customer doesn't have a service agreement. Then you got to call them back and you go, wait a minute, you can't deny it because they don't have a service agreement because we installed it in January. It's brand new. There's no reason for me to do a maintenance on it when I just installed it, you know, 4 months ago, 5 months ago. It makes no sense. But they may deny it because of that, because somebody on their side of it overlooked that. You got to avoid all that stuff, and you got to ask yourself, what questions are you asking me? Can I verify everything I'm telling you? Do my dates match within the warranty time frame, or do they not? If they're outside of the warranty time frame, expect a denied on it. You need to look to make sure your dates are correct inside the warranty time frame. If you got to go to PDF element, and like I said, you received the part within that time frame that it was actually in warranty, don't give them the opportunity to say, you received the part outside of warranty, but I diagnosed it in the warranty, so it should be in warranty. Don't give them the opportunity to say, no, I am denying your claim because the part wasn't replaced inside a warranty. That could be a little technical thing. I don't know if it's a fact or not, but don't give them the opportunity. Change your dates to where the dates are in with warranty. Your invoices, when you turn an invoice in, well, that invoice that our technician did, that he replaced the compressor and it's a week out of warranty because we didn't get the part to a week out of warranty, we have to rewrite that invoice with the correct date inside of warranty. So the paperwork that we upload in here, our dates have got to be in warranty. When we look at the invoice that our technician did, if this date here, 6/20, is the date we installed the compressor, but the warranty expired on 6/14, they will deny that claim. Remember, I am telling you, if the part failed on 5/25, but we did not get the compressor till 6/20, that's not our fault that we couldn't do that part. So we would rewrite this invoice to where my date would be inside of the warranty. So when we have our invoice, our Coburn's or Lennox or whatever invoice, that date says it's all within inside of it. When we upload everything, they can't deny it. We didn't cheat anybody. We're just trying to make sure that you're not denying us because of a little clause inside your warranty crap that says if it wasn't replaced inside the warranty date as opposed to diagnosed with inside the warranty date, it failed with inside the warranty date, therefore you should cover it. If there is a clause in there that says you have to replace the part within that warranty time frame, then you're not being covered. I hope I'm making myself clear on that. All right. Back to our spreadsheet so we can finish our spreadsheet. All right. So you have a contract number for Comfort Shield. That is, I told you where to find the Comfort Shield contract number. Okay. So when you go to Comfort Shield here, through Lennox Pros, through Comfort Shield, we found that. And you could also look it up by last name or address as well too. If you, in this case, I knew the contract number, so I was able to pull it up. You can just key it up by the address and the name. If it was registered, it'll give you the contract number. Okay. So here's your contract number right here. Okay. Right there. Total equipment retail gives you that. Install date gives you all that. Now, what you're going to do is, if I'm going to make this up here for a second, because I don't know. Well, this is San Martin here, okay? Where is it at? Where is it at? Where is that? San Martin. So here's San Martin right here, which is a blower motor, okay? So I would actually click on the air handler. I would create a claim. And the dealer invoice number is going to be what? What's my dealer invoice number? Well, the dealer invoice number, you have got to look and you've got to say, okay, 617 Dandelion. $617 Dandelion, and then, which they don't have at this point in time, we're going to have to make one. We're going to have to make a Comfort Shield with Dandelion on it. I'll get into that at another part. If I go here and I type in Comfort Shield, no, Maybe it's protection. Maybe I forgot what it is. Let's try parts. No parts. It's not Comfort Shield. I forgot what the name is. I'll have to figure it out in a minute. You key up the name of the warranty, and all of the warranties end up popping up. I just can't remember what the darn name is that you key it up here. Anyway, and then when you do that, you have to go into that particular Comfort Shield Protection Plus. Maybe it was Protection Plus. Nope. Alright, so we're going to say it's Protection Plus, and let's just say it's this one for argument's sake. You go into Edit Customer with it, and then you would add a new location. And then when you add a new location, you will make it 617 Dandelion, which will then give you a user for the Protection Plus or Comfort Shield, all of our 3 and 5 and 10-year labor warranties. And then you make an invoice in that particular job or customer in order to come through here. So what is going to be our dealer invoice number? Who is submitting this? Eric is submitting this dealer invoice number. So I can use, this is going to be Comfort Shield, so we're going to go C-S, and I am going to take it as San Martin, and I'm going to take it over here, come back over this way, and I'm going to take it as my contract number. I don't know if it'll take all those numbers. Let's just see. $3018635. No, I did not take all of them. Alright, so dealer invoice number. I think what we use on this is the actual claim number, the authorization number. So let's go see if we actually got the authorization number on this. That's important. I forgot about that. 617 Dandelion, Ronnie San Martin, Dandelion. We're going to go to dispatches. We're going to go to our last dispatches where we actually would have done everything. You're going to look in the dispatch notes, and you're going to look for authorization number. Okay, so we have to call. This says right here in these notes, these location notes are the notes that if you go to Edit Customer and you go to General, and Location, and these are your notes down here. There's your equipment. Here, we actually have to get an authorization number. So, unless you see an authorization number here, we did not get an authorization number. So, I go to Qualify. I go to my attached documents. I go to the invoices that we actually did to replace these parts. I'm looking for an authorization number that was written on here somewhere. I am not seeing an authorization number written on here anywhere. So this is telling me that we went out and did part changes on this thing, and we never got an authorization number. So I can't do that claim right now until I get an authorization number. So I've got to call Ronnie, and I've got to send Ronnie. Here's how I will do it today is I'm going to go, let's go into Edit Customer again. I'm going to go to the phone numbers that I have right here, and I'm going to text Ronnie, and I'm going to say, hey Ronnie, Eric with Taylor and Tyler, I need your help. We recently did some work on your new unit. In order for us to get paid on it, I need you to call Comfort Shield at the phone number provided, 1-866-304-1953. Your certificate number is 301863547. I need you to call them and tell them that you need a pre-authorization number so that we can get paid for replacing those parts that went bad on your system. Do not tell them that the work has already been done. Tell them you need a pre-authorization number for us to go and do the work because your system is not cooling. They call up, they give them the information. Comfort Shield calls us, gives us a pre-authorization or gives them the pre-authorization number. Once we have the pre-authorization number, then we now can continue with this. As of right now, I can't do anything with it because I don't have a pre-authorization number. So the problem boiled down to is when the dispatchers did this particular job and dispatched this out, and they know better than to dispatch out a warranty replacement part that has a 3-year labor warranty without getting an authorization number. The technicians know better than to go replace a part without an authorization number. They all know better, but they freaking did it anyway. So now we're screwed until we get an authorization number. I can't get paid to replace these parts until I get a pre-authorization number. So I'm screwed in this particular matter. Boy, boy, boy. All right. When we get a pre-authorization number, we will put that pre-authorization number here. Like I have for, let's see what customer that one is. For Angela Bates. Okay. So I have a pre-authorization number for it. When I have the pre-authorization number and I complete that particular claim, it then gives me a claim number. And then it tells how much that they will actually pay me for that particular part. Then in ESC, I have to go to ESC, and when I go to the Comfort Shield or Protection Plus, like I was telling you, we had to add that particular job name in there. I'm going to remember what job it's under in a second. Then we put the ESC invoice number in. So here's how that works. Here's what I mean by ESC number. As I said, you have to go to, and if I can remember this damn thing, it would be a hell of a lot easier. It's not Protection Plus. It is, and it's not Comfort Shield. And I don't know if I get in there, nothing in there. I just cannot remember what the hell it is. Let's just type in warranty. Nope, it's not under warranty. I just got to remember what it's under, and I don't remember off the top of my head. So when we go into that customer, whatever that damn customer's name is for that we're using, the customer name, which is the warranty company, when we go into it and we create a new location for 617 Dandelion, then we go to that location, create a dispatch for it, and then that dispatch is then used to create an invoice so that when Comfort Shield issues me that they're going to pay me $20, whatever it is, then I take that invoice, I save the invoice, and I upload it to QuickBooks so that now QuickBooks, my accounting software, is showing that Comfort Shield should be sending me a check for $20. So our process here is Comfort Shield, what is your certificate number? What is the authorization number that the customer has to give you? What is the claim number after you do that? What is the claim amount after you process that, which we're going to do in another video? What is your ESC number? Did you post it to QuickBooks? And what is the check you're actually waiting for? Then, did you actually receive the check? Now, once I do all that and I process all that to here, then I put it in pink because the only thing I have left to do is literally receive the check. As soon as I receive the check and I put the check total right here of, in this case, I don't know, $136 on this particular one here. Once I put the check number on there, that we actually received the money, then I go here and I would right click on that and I would make it black, change it to white lettering, and I would cut it, and I would move it up to the top, and it's no longer in here anymore because it's now complete after I got my check. So remember, the ones that are in peach, I'm working on those still. The ones that are in pink, I have completed them all the way up until the point where I am waiting for the check from Comfort Shield to come. Then I turn them to pink. Okay? I got some work to do. Alright? I am literally just taking over all this stuff in order to train somebody, and obviously that's why I'm doing these videos. And I just organized all this stuff, and I'm telling you, not asking you, I am telling you that this is the way it needs to stay. The exact way I am showing on this video. Peach for jobs that are still being worked on, and we still have work to do on them, where we have a parts and labor warranty. Coburn's goes at the top, Lennox goes underneath, Jackson Supply, Johnstone Supply, AC Supply goes under others invoices, and you do the same exact process all the way through there. If it does not have a labor warranty on it, then it goes in gray. Coburn's goes up top, Lennox goes below it, and then right here is your other ones, okay? Now, Lennox, I processed everything here. Parts warranty, you know, once I turn it and I have a vendor credit, I'm waiting to get paid now from Lennox. I'm waiting to actually get my money back from Lennox. So I'm putting it in pink right here as far as that's concerned. It's pending, or I can actually turn it red just like this one is, and now it's waiting for my money back. I can't put anything in here until they actually credit me back for something, okay? Once I put it in here, I put the invoice number in that they actually credited me back on. I black it out, cut it, bring it to the top, and get it out of my way, and I'm only working with underneath here, okay? So when I took all this over, they had a whole bunch of them on here, and these here in green, I literally have not been through yet. So there may be some work right here that I still need to do, and you can see, well, hell, some of this has already been done, you know, and amount received, I'm looking over here, and I don't know how, I'm looking at these, and now maybe they didn't go and fill all this stuff in. I don't know. But I have 3-year labor warranties or whatever that are being processed through that somebody did it, and the claim amount is $381.96. This is dispatch number right here, and this is the dispatch number for the invoice for Comfort like Comfort Shield or Protection Plus that is in that warranty deal. I'm gonna find out what the damn name is of that damn thing, but anyway, it's there. So it's giving you a dispatch number, which would be your invoice number with Comfort Shield on it. So did we receive $218? If we received it, and it says amount received, I would right click on that one, I would black it out, cut it, and move it up to the top and paste it. So I literally just have not gotten to all this to clean all this stuff up. Because literally I want this to just be my working area here. That part right there, the grays and the peaches to be my working area. This is just work I have not got to yet. Some like this may be just a parts warranty right here, let's just say. If that's just a parts warranty and they credited my part and they don't have a 3-year labor warranty on it, then this one could be finished with. So let's look at that one just for argument's sake. It is 103 Choctaw Street. We're going to look to see if it's got a parts and labor warranty. That's what we're looking for. Amy O'Neill. We're going to equipment. System was installed in 2016. Labor warranty is 1 year. So the part has a warranty, labor does not. So if I go back over here to, what was the address? 103, and I find that in here again. 103, here's what I'm doing with it. I got my credit on this particular part, $1,529, okay? I right click it, I change it to black, charcoal basically. Change this to white. I right click it, I cut it, I bring it up top, I go right below my black ones, and I insert cut cell, and then that one's cleaned up. That's how you do that. So I just found one that we can move to the top. All of these here, all these green ones here should all be parts warranties on them. So I should be able to clean all this stuff up right here. The top ones here, I think we looked at some of these. Anything that literally has got stuff over here, you know it's got a labor warranty to it. Now, I don't know about some of the other ones, but literally you have to check every single one of them. And our job right now is we need to clean all this stuff up so that we only have working parts down below here. So this will be the end of this particular video. I am going to set up on each one of these other ones to where I can process the labor warranty for each one of these other ones, but I have to do some work before I process it and before I'm ready to do the video on processing the labor warranties, because I got to make sure on all these that I can go call the customer, give them the phone number. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna text them their authorization, their certificate number, ask them to do what I'm asking them to do, put the phone number in there, and then send it to them. And then I'm gonna wait a few minutes, and then I'm gonna call them, and I'm gonna say, "Hey, Mr. Ronnie, Eric with Taylor and Tyler, I need you to do me a favor, man. I sent you a text a few minutes ago. I need you to call that number for me. Tell them you need a pre-authorization for the work that we did prior to, but don't tell them the work is already done. Just tell them your system's not cooling. You need a pre-authorization number." They will give a pre-authorization number, and then from there we take that pre-authorization number and we will attach this claim to it, and then push everything through there. Okay, but you can't do anything unless you got a pre-authorization number. So the girls in the office know it, the guys know it. So this is another thing I need to chew somebody's ass about, because they're doing work without getting the approvals prior to. So a dispatcher, when they go into editing customers or stuff, and they read right here, it should say whether it needs a pre-authorization. So with San Martin, I'm sorry, it says right here at the very top line, anytime you key in this customer and you go into their equipment and you see they have a 3 or 5 or 10 year warranty on whatever, this particular one, 3-year warranty on it right here. Anytime you see that and you dispatch that out, you have got to go, if I'm going to create a dispatch right now, that information's right here. So there's no way you can overlook it. Taylor and Tyler, Eric speaking. How may I help you? Yep, that's me. Yep. 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 Mm-hmm. Shoot. Yep. Yep. On the coil. Right. Right. Yes. Correct. Shoot. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. Well, here's where the problem comes in on the installation. If you tell me you want the condenser by itself, I send one guy out there to go change the condenser. if you tell me I want the condenser and coil, I'm sending 2 guys out there to go do the job. So if I send 1 guy and he changes the condenser, and then after it's done, you go, oh shit, well now I got to change the coil. Well, I don't have another guy, and I don't have the coil now. So now it created an entire new job, and has taken a lot longer to do the entire job. See where I'm at? Yeah. So that's why, yeah, you actually save a little money basically because of that, in doing 1 job as opposed to 2 jobs, because now I got to put it on my install crew to go change the coil. I could send the service tech to go change your condenser. If I'm changing your condenser and coil, I'm going to put it on my install jobs, and it's going to be, put on the board for my installers to go do it. So it's 2 different people a lot of times that would do your coil and your condenser compared to just your condenser. Yep. Mm-hmm. Well, remember, it's not $4,000 because they had additional things in there, such as the 3-year labor warranty. Because the price I gave you on the condenser by itself had a 1-year labor warranty. So there are additional things, like also the service agreements. Like your other unit needs to be cleaned as well. Like I said, so in the price I gave you with both units, it's cleaning that one, the other one as well too. So yeah. Sure. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Yeah, I get you. Right.